Okay, let's go ahead and get started with looking at another section 4. As we know, in section 4, it goes directly straight through from question 31 to 40. The way we do section 4 is the same way we do sections 1, 2, and 3 when it comes to fill the blank questions. We have to pay attention to the language that comes before or after the blank line, because that's what our keyword will. That's what our answer choice will connect to. All right, the answer choice always connects to that language. Another thing that you have to do when it comes to section 4, and also this is what happens in section 3, you have to make sure you follow with the conversation. Okay, you can't get lost in the conversation. So it's really important that you really. I like to tell students, if you see this hand on the screen moving around, think about this hand as being a pencil, like the tip of a pencil. And you want to take it and you move it with the conversation. Okay? They're going to say general facts. Then they're going to go through these 4 things giving answers. Then they're going to say habitat. And then they're going to go through these four questions, 4 sentences. And then they're going to say threats. All right, they're just going to go directly straight through it, step by step by step. Now, like I keep telling you over and over again, pay attention to the language when it's filled to blank. Pay attention to the language before or after the blank line. Like for number 31, it will connect to the words uncommon. Its color comes from an uncommon. Whatever this answer is, it connects to a synonym of the word uncommon. If you can recognize a synonym, then you'll know that then you'll know the answer is coming, or the answer was just said right before the word uncommon. Okay? But they're going to use a synonym. 32, unusual. 33, they protect the bear from. Protect bear from. Right? 34, roots stop. What do the roots stop? 35, small number of. Okay, you get it? And then as we move down, we have 36. It says habitat is being lost due to deforestation and construction of blank by logging companies. Construction of, so whatever this answer is, it will connect to the word construction, which is what you should circle, and it will connect to logging companies. Right? So whatever this answer is, 37 is connected to the word unrestricted. Remember, they're going to use synonym language. Right? Unrestricted, no restriction, affecting the salmon supply. Unrestricted. The bear's existence is also threatened by their low rate of. 38, connected to the words low rate of. Right? They're going to use synonyms. They might use reduced. Okay? So remember, when you're listening, you have to hear the synonym relationship, the synonym connection between the language before the blank line or sometimes after the blank line and the answer choice. 39 is connected to must improve their blank of logging. Must improve. Whatever 39 is, it's going to be connected to must improve. Right? They're going to say going forward, then they're going to go through these. 40 is straightforward. Maintenance and blank of the spirit bear's territory. So maintenance and something else. All right. So let's go ahead and play this. Let's play the tape now, and I want you to try to answer and do the best you can. And then I'm going to go over the answers with you and point out the synonym language that you should have picked up on, so that you can know when the answer is being said. All right. Here we go. Okay, here it comes, everybody. Get ready. Also, if you're not sure how a word is spelled, just spell it the best you can right away. Okay? Because remember, after the test is over, you have 10 minutes to transfer your answers. and then you can try to figure out the spelling. All right, but don't leave any answers blank. If you think something's the answer, write it down. And then if you later discover the answer is something else, write that down. But get things down on paper. Don't try to say, don't try to say in your head, was that the answer? Did they just say the answer? Was that the answer? Because so many times I have classes with students, and they'll tell me, yeah, I heard him say that. And then I'll say, well, why didn't you write it down? I don't know. Right? Write things down. Put things down. If you think that's a possibility, put it down on paper. Okay? Put it down on paper. Then maybe a few seconds later, you'll hear the correct answer, or you'll figure out that is the correct answer. But get things down on paper.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. Today, we continue our series on ecology and conservation with a look at a particularly endangered member of the black bear family. 1 in 10 black bears is actually born with a white coat, which is the result of a special gene that surfaces in a few. Local people have named it the spirit bear, and according to the legends of these communities, its snowy fur brings with it a special power. Because of this, it has always been highly regarded by them, so much that they do not speak of seeing it to anyone else. It is their way of protecting it when strangers visit the area. The white bear's habitat is quite interesting. The bear's strong relationship with the old-growth rainforest is a complex one. The white bear relies on the huge, centuries-old trees in the forest in many ways. For example, the old-growth trees have extremely long roots that help prevent erosion of the soil along the banks of the many fish streams. Keeping these banks intact is important because these streams are home to salmon, which are the bear's main food source. In return, the bear's feeding habits nurture the forest. As the bears eat the salmon, they discard the skin and bones in great amounts on the forest floor, which provide vital nutrients. These produce lush vegetation that sustains thousands of other types of life forms, from birds to insects and more. Today, the spirit bear lives off the coast of the province of British Columbia on a few islands. There is great concern for their survival, since it is estimated that less than 200 of these white bears remain. The best way to protect them is to make every effort to preserve the delicate balance of their forest environment. In other words, their ecosystem. The greatest threat to the bear's existence is the loss of its habitat.
You'll notice that after they did number 35, you had a small pause. It was like a 2 or 3 second pause. Okay, that's something they do in section 4, right? They go through from question 31 to 40, but they are very often, not all the time, but very often, they'll do like the first 5 questions, or 4 questions, or 6 questions. Then you'll hear a small little pause. And when they're making that small little pause, what they're doing there is that's like a little clue that they're switching from one section to the next section. And they really do that a lot if they have different types of questions. Like if they have some multiple choice questions and some fill-the-blank questions. When they do that, they always have that kind of 3 or 4 second pause. And that's how you can tell that they're switching from the fill-the-blank questions to the multiple choice questions.
The greatest threat to the bear's existence is the loss of its habitat. Over many years, logging companies have stripped the land by cutting down a large number of trees. In addition, they have built roads which have fractured the areas where the bear usually feeds, and many hibernation sites have also been lost. The logging of the trees along the streams has damaged the places where the bears fish. To make matters worse, the number of salmon in those streams is declining because there is no legal limit on fishing at the moment. All these influences have a negative impact on the spirit bear's very existence, which is made all the more fragile by the fact that reproduction among these bears has always been disappointingly low. And so, what's the situation going forward? Community organizations, environmental groups, and the British Columbia government are now working together on the problem. The government is now requiring logging companies to adopt a better logging method, which is a positive step. However, these measures alone may not be sufficient to ensure a healthy population of the spirit bear in the future. Other steps also need to be taken. While it is important to maintain the spirit bear's habitat, there also needs to be more emphasis on its expansion. The move is justified as it will also create space for other bears that are losing their homes to damage. That is the end of section 4.
Okay, so let's back it up and let's go through the answer choices. All right, and as we're going through it, I'll point out for you some of the synonym language that they were using, so you can see how important it is for you to be able to recognize and understand synonym language.
Today, we continue our series on ecology and conservation with a look at a particularly endangered member of the black bear family. 1 in 10 black bears is actually born with a white coat, which is the result of a special gene that surfaces in a few. Local people have named it the spirit bear, and according to the legends of these...
So, number 31 is gene. It comes from a special gene, right? Is white color or white coat comes from a special gene. The word special is synonym for the word uncommon, right? The word special is synonym for the word uncommon. Right. Gene. They said a special gene. Right. Special is synonym for uncommon. Right. So you have to hear the synonyms. You have to hear the synonyms. You have to hear the synonyms.
Local people have named it the spirit bear, and according to the legends of these communities, its snowy fur brings with it a special power. Because of this, it has always been highly regarded by them.
Right, so they use the word special twice as a synonym. Right, for number 32, the answer was power. They said he had a special power. Alright, special, synonym for unusual. Right, so if you know that unusual is a synonym for the word special, alright, and special is a synonym for the word uncommon, then you'll know that what the answer connects to. That's how you can always identify the answer. A lot of people ask me, well, how do I know when they're saying the answer? You have to recognize synonym language. You have to. There's no other secret way of getting around that.
Because of this, it has always been highly regarded by them, so much that they do not speak of seeing it to anyone else. It is their way of protecting it when strangers visit the area. All
right, so this
black bear's habitat is quite
So number 33 is strangers. Strangers.
The white bear relies on the huge centuries-old trees in the forest in many ways. For example, the old-growth trees have extremely long roots that help prevent erosion of the soil along the banks of the many fish streams. Keeping these banks intact is important because these streams are home to salmon, which are the bear's main food source.
Right, so when we look here, right, we had number 33 was strangers. 34 was erosion, right, and it says it helps prevent. Helps prevent is synonym for stop.
In return, the bear's feeding habits nurture the forest. As the bears eat the salmon, they discard the skin and bones in great amounts on the forest floor, which provide vital nutrients. These produce lush vegetation that sustains thousands of other types of life forms, from birds to insects and more. Today, the spirit bear lives off the coast of the province of British Columbia on a few islands. There is great concern for their survival, since it is estimated that less than 200 of these white bears remain. The best way to protect them.
Right, so 35 islands. Right, they said he lives on a few. Few is synonym, a few is synonym for what? A small number. Right, so again, all they're doing, question by question by question, all they're doing is seeing, can you understand synonym language? Because that's what they're connecting the answer to. And if you know that lives on a few is synonym for a small number, you'll know that the answer is islands. Okay? Alright, so let's stop right here, and then we're going to go into another lecture and continue with questions with questions 36 to 40.